Get to the morning every day. Every morning.
Ladies and gentlemen, Adelaide's Jody and Hazy on Nova.
Producer Zoe.
Hi guys. I'm not sure if you saw, but there's been chaos in Nicki Minaj's world over the weekend.
What the hell's going on?
It's insane. So she's on tour at the moment.
Yep.
And she had a show in the UK, and flying through Amsterdam, she got detained for having naughty substances in her bag. And the best part was she live streamed it. Have a listen.
I'm not carrying drugs.
Okay, but it's not a question here. I think it's.
I'm not
smart to
carrying
go
drugs.
inside.
Number one, when I came here,
Yeah.
the
Okay,
back.
you can go inside.
I'm not going in there. I need a lawyer present.
They were
You will get a lawyer.
Sounds like she's carrying drugs.
they were trying to get her to go in like a little like a van, like a police sort of van.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
she's going, I will not go in there without a lawyer. Anyway, they detained her, questioned her. She claimed they weren't hers. It was a plant, let's say. It wasn't like, risky. So they let her off the hook. But by the time she got out, concert missed.
Oh, no. So everyone rocked up?
So everyone was there. They're called Barbs.
Right.
The Nicki Minaj fans, like Barbies, Barbs.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the
I
Barbs.
Did not know that,
Tracy?
no.
Yeah, she's got a song
Yeah.
called Barbie Tings, not appropriate for Nova. And so they're all called Barbs. And they were so upset that they left the concert and stormed her hotel and sat outside going, free Nicki, free Nicki.
Wow.
Oh,
Wow,
my.
it's a whole movement.
It
off,
was.
Barbs.
So free Nicki. Anyway, she performed the next night, so she's good to go. But it got us talking about, those really let down concerts that you've been to.
Yes.
Because there was a phase, I swear, where artists were just coming out super late or cancelling their gigs left, right and centre. Like even last year, some of the biggest acts. We've seen it this year, we've lost like The Weeknd and all of those sorts of acts cancelling their tours.
Yep.
But I've been to, unfortunately, many a bad act.
Really?
Yeah.
Top one? What your worst one you've been
I've
to?
brought this up a few times and I will continue to. It's Angus and Julia Stone.
Oh, you
Oh,
said
my very
that.
goodness. The
Listen to
dulcet, beautiful, supple tones of Angus and
angelic,
Julia.
beautiful. And I've said it before, I'll say it again, they were not in the room with us at that concert.
Do you mean they were above the room, so to speak?
They were
much higher than the room? Is
I
that
think,
what you're trying to
I
say?
think what she means is that if they were to be detained in Amsterdam, there definitely would have been something on their person.
They
Right,
wouldn't have been
okay.
released.
No.
So that was really disappointing for me. They're so beautiful and amazing.
Yeah.
So to see them there just completely spaced out, not caring, not engaging with the crowd, super disappointing.
Yeah.
But then I Googled some to see what other people have said. And one of the top ones, which I was not expecting, apparently Snoop Dogg.
What? Snoop Dogg?
You think this would go off, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Every time
Dance
you've
in the
seen
cream.
Snoop Dogg, he just goes off. He's
Yeah.
perfect. He's flawless, isn't
Yeah.
he?
And
He's
I will
gorgeous
also
too, by the way.
I will also say this: if he was detained in Amsterdam, he would never be released.
You're not coming out
in
ever again.
perpetuity.
But there's heaps of them, 13, 24, 10, the worst concerts you've been to. Lots of
Yeah.
artists that are a real letdown. This, I've never seen him, but producer M said it and the rest of the internet as well, is Bob Dylan.
Yeah.
Really?
Apparently awful.
I feel like Bob Dylan's got to the stage where he's like, you know what, I don't really need to do much.
No.
Yeah.
Whatever I'm doing, they're loving. And also, if you really study it, listen to Bob Dylan and the way that he plays the harmonica.
Okay.
He's just blowing in and out.
Yeah.
It's just absolute chaos. And everyone's like, oh, that's how you're supposed to do it because Bob Dylan's doing it.
Right.
He's at that level.
Yeah. Right.
For me, back in the day, and this was a Sydney gig as well.
Yeah.
So if you can't get up and about for a Sydney gig, then you're just not in the mood. It was Kings of Leon.
Oh, what was wrong with them?
So they sounded fantastic, but as we know with gigs, the chat in between songs and the initial
Important.
chat, it's really important.
Yeah.
I've never seen anyone better than Ed Sheeran.
Yeah.
The boys just either not good at it or just weren't interested. Came out and said, hey, how's it going? And I swear he looked down at his guitar and went, Sydney. And then didn't say another thing for about 4 or 5 songs.
No way.
And that was just, hey, we're Kings of Leon.
Someone
Yeah.
did that last year. I can't remember who walked on stage and went, "G'day, Sydney" in Melbourne.
That was
I reckon it was Blink
Guns N' Roses.
Oh,
I
Guns N'
reckon.
Roses. And then Blink 182 made fun of them.
Yes.
It was a big thing.
Brilliant.
Anyway, give us a call with your worst concert
Yes.
experiences.
13, 24, 10, we want to hear about the worst concerts that you've ever been to.
And surely in a space now where, music festivals,
Yeah.
it seemed like Australian music festivals on the decline.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'd be seeing shows that leave a good impression on us. Because the last thing you want is more stories like that you had with Angus and Julia
Angus and Julia Stone. Still not over it. I bring it up regularly.
Ah, all right. You too. It's every second day. 13, 24, 10, the worst concerts you've been to and why. Good morning to you, Ellen. Worst concert you've been to?
Morning, guys. It pains for me to say, but Britney Spears when
No.
she came here
Don't say it.
Adelaide.
So where was it at? Like, was it the entertainment centre or she wasn't at Adelaide Oval, was she?
No, see, that was before Adelaide Oval. It was the entertainment centre, so it was in the era where Christina was also touring. A handful of years after Christina toured, Britney came to Adelaide, and she's at the entertainment centre, definitely not a sold-out crowd, and they did a big announcement over the PA before she started, just letting us all know that she lip-synced the whole thing.
Yeah.
And that she was just purely there for, I suppose, to be there and play her music.
So-
However, like, she does entertain, but it was just disappointing, like, when you compare it to the Christina era. Like, Christina was just all vocal at her concerts,
Yeah.
whereas Britney was just all dancing. She did sing one song live, which was Every Time, because it's her ballad.
Yeah.
But it was just, like, all this hype, and, like, huge Britney fans from when she was discovered in the early days. And I was just like, oh, she's not actually going to sing for me.
So, Ellen, I was at that concert, and I recall that the best thing about it was DJ Havana before the show. She was really, really
Havana
good.
Brown.
Yes, she was great. And then Britney came on, and I was like, she genuinely is lip syncing this whole thing.
Yeah, it was just so disappointing. But that might be also stemming from when she was having those crisis issues of
Some issues.
falling off the bandwagon.
Yes.
Yeah.
So to speak. But yeah,
Stuff going on.
disappointing. Like when you compare it to Christina, it was just, oh,
Yeah, right.
really?
So true.
we
Thank you,
go.
Ellen. Thank you so much. Let's go to Rosemary. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you guys?
We're good. The worst concert you've ever been to?
Okay, worst concert was I took my kids a couple of years back to a play school concert.
You're
Their
kidding.
favourite TV show. Yeah. We were so excited to go to this concert. And, so we went along and it was terrible.
Really?
The cast, like, it wasn't the actual real play school people, but it was, people, like making out to be play school characters there. And like they forgot the music, the songs, it was all over the place. Like literally us parents were laughing our heads off because everything was going wrong, and it was it was just crazy. The kids actually thought it was a comedy show of play school.
Really?
The kids
They
taking
were
the mickey
laughing
out.
so much.
Big Ted and Jemima. No good.
You can't replace that. There's no room for gimmicks when it comes to Big Ted and Jemima. We've said that for so long,
True.
Joe.
So true. And the
Oh,
big
wow.
clock as well.
Yeah, the big clock. Mm-hmm. Oh, jeez. How dare they try and imitate such an absolute Aussie
Doyen.
iconic.
Yep. Claire from Clemsig. Don't even say it. You can't say it. Really?
Yes, I can say it. We went to the S Club 7 reunion here in Adelaide, and only 2 of them turned up. And so I think Jo had gone into hospital.
Right.
And she's really the only one that can sing. So basically the crowd took over and we performed for them.
Oh, my
Actually,
goodness.
That's a nice result, but you're in big trouble when your main man isn't there.
Just a big disclaimer. Didn't they market it as S Club 4, like, before they even came out?
I think it was 5 and then it became 3 and then I don't know what happened. But we didn't get what we paid for, that's for sure.
Oh, does it sound like it? Oh, Claire, thank you so much. Tash, your worst concert?
Easily, I'm going to agree with Britney Spears. That was my first ever concert and it was just the most disgusting thing I ever watched.
Yep.
I grew up listening to her and she was the best thing ever.
Yep.
And then I seen her live and I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
That's disappointing, isn't it? It's like meeting
my
your
next
hero.
one was Katy Perry.
Oh.
Katy Perry.
She was horrible.
What was wrong
I
with her?
seen her in Melbourne and she came out and she was like that little bit excited, but she just seemed so tired, like she just couldn't be bothered doing anything.
Yeah, right.
I wonder.
Like it was just, she was like just drab the whole time. Like she was really trying to put on her exciting persona that she has, but then she was just like, oh, can't be bothered.
What's about the timing of
Even
though,
like
Tash?
with how she was dancing and everything, it was just so boring.
Was this wasn't the whole Russell Brand
Oh,
era, though, was it?
yeah.
Because remember the documentary where she was going through so much and then literally in tears. It's an iconic scene where she's cruising up the stage and has to flick a switch.
Yeah, it may have been around that time.
Okay.
That
it was,
would explain things,
it was
but-
literally in the doco though, Tash. Like she was taking the phone call from Russell Brand where he's
Yeah.
like, "Our marriage is done," and then she had to walk on stage. It was outrageous.
Monique, your worst concert. And I feel like this is going to hurt my soul, the person you're about to mention here.
Yeah, it's Jack Johnson.
Oh, what?
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah, it was an absolute snooze fest.
Was it?
Yeah, it was just his songs were super mellow anyway.
Yeah.
But then, he just has no banter. So he just sat there, him with his guitar, song after song, no chatting. It was, by the end of it, the crowd weren't even clapping. We were all asleep.
Yeah, right. So, Monique, what I will say is...
Go on then, defend Jack Johnson. Go on. You know you want to.
And the last... what I will say, which wasn't good for Jack Johnson, years and years ago when I saw him at Memorial Drive, Xavier Rudd was starting to take off.
Yes.
But he wasn't where he was
that's
now.
the one I went to.
And Xavier Rudd performed before Jack Johnson.
Okay.
And dead set. I was listening, Monique. We might have been at the same concert. I was listening to people
He
who were like,
was.
what about that bloke before? He was incredible.
Yeah, right.
Everyone was talking about Xavier Rudd during the Jack Johnson concert.
Maybe he was flat, that Xavier was better than him.
Well, it's a very,
He
very
was.
different vibe.
And it was, because it was outside and it was summer and it was warm, you were just like, this is going to be amazing. And then I think the sun and the mellowness, it was just, we were all just kind of standing there just like zombies at the end.
Monique, did you notice that weird smell as well?
Nicky might have been there.
Yeah.
Right.
You've noticed was there as well in the crowd.
Thank you, Monique.
There you go. Some good solid feedback there for some of the artists.
Yes.
Here's what you're waking up to, Adelaide.
In the news today.
Breaking news.
What's in the news today?
Your post-snooze news.
Information can be absolutely overwhelming. So what we need to do is break it down. The top stories from the last 12 to 24 hours. Let's go, Abs.
Good morning. So we are officially on Matilda's watch. How exciting.
Yes. Go the Matildas.
And they're
Fire
here.
it.
They're here, right?
So they're officially here. We have seen them in town. I'm not going to say where they're staying, just for privacy reasons, just in case. But yeah, the Matildas are here. It's ahead of their friendly against China. So it'll be their final game on Australian soil before they head to the Paris Olympics. It's all about as well finding out who's going to actually be playing. And South Aussie Charlie Grant is returning home to Adelaide for the curtain raiser, which is very exciting.
No Sam Kerr.
No, Sam Kerr. She got ruled out a little while ago. She's had what's ankle or
ACL.
knee? ACL.
Yeah.
So they'll be playing on Friday night. It's already a sellout, and it's going to be pretty big, I'd say.
How good's that?
Massive.
So good.
Sold out Adelaide Oval.
And we
That's gonna
had
be absolutely
40,000
huge.
last night for the footy.
That's ridiculous
Which
too, by
is
the way,
good
for a
for a
twilight
Sunday.
game.
Yeah.
It's a very good result. And it looked busy as well.
Yeah.
It's nice. 99 points for the Crows. What about for amateur football lovers on the weekend, Friday night?
What about this, though?
Look at this. Scotch OC v Pembroke OC. And there was an altercation between a player and a spectator. A Scotch player and a Pembroke spectator. And allegedly, it's a Pembroke old boy as well.
Yeah.
Came to blows. Bang! So much so that they had to abandon the game.
Wow. What?
It's huge, isn't it?
I
What,
wonder
they called
he
it off?
said.
They called the game off.
I wonder what he yelled out.
It looked very, very physical.
What was the sledge?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
What tipped the player over the edge? We'll talk about it a little bit later on this morning, but gee, I'll tell you what, it begs to question some of the things that you've seen on amateur sporting fields as well.
Yeah.
Like the abuse, the physical things that happen away, and sometimes, rarely in cases like this, when spectators and players come together. Not in a lovely way.
We had a sledge on the weekend for the Adelaide Wildcats.
I can't imagine what anyone that would have said badly about you.
How do you sledge such a finely tuned bunch of athletes? Do you
So
know what
true,
I mean?
mate.
Abs?
There was a sledge that was actually disgusting, though.
I think you told me at the netball, if my memory serves correct.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Very disgusting.
Yeah, disgusting. And I don't know why people can't just zip their lip.
Well, because people like you fall for it and it completely stuffs you up, doesn't it?
It's not my fault. That is massive gaslighting from you.
You're like,
that is,
that's
it's not my
not
fault
gaslighting
that
at all.
someone said something awful.
It's not gaslighting at all. It's like Jodie's like, please do not sledge me because I'll turn into an absolute mess. And you're like, oh, okay, as an opposition player, then sure, I'm going to sledge you.
It was after Jodie went for the ball and
Don't do
knocked
the
out the
inverted
player
commas.
next to her.
Okay, right.
I only had eyes for the ball.
I do not trust either one of you with information anymore.
Wow.
We just
Rude.
know that if we were on the other team, it'll be easy to get inside your head.
Would it?
Yeah.
Why? Because I'm weak.
We say
Are
one
you saying
thing.
I'm weak?
We say one thing about your age or one thing about Tasmania, and you lose it. And you do.
She's
See,
gone.
now
You're
we
losing it
can
right
rest
now.
my
You're losing
case.
it. Do you know what? This is your fault, Jodie. All right, that's gaslighting. There you go. That's your post-snooze news. Some news that really shocked the golf community across the weekend. A few headlines. So, two-time PGA Tour Grayson Murray died on Sunday, and his parents later revealed that he died by suicide.
Okay.
And you might hear something like that and say, well, why is this particular case unique? Well, there was a story, and this is what touched me, that was circulating about a year before that, where he's been battling mental health for a long time, and that he'd said that he got to the stage where he thought that he was basically over it. And one of the things that sort of resonated with a lot of people is that he said, the biggest relief for me is that my father won't get a phone call telling him what's happened to his son. Anyway, long story short, fast forward a year, and his father has got that phone call. So it got me thinking to a situation myself as well, and blokes in general.
Yeah.
So this is another one of those things where, and this isn't an isolated situation, it's an ongoing process with blokes about talking and communicating and recognising the signs with each other. And I know for me, as a young bloke at around 25, 26, we had a really close friend from high school who went down this path. No one knew. He just ticked off all these incredible life goals, took his own life, and then you're left with the question of what could you have done differently to perhaps save a life, if only you'd known. It's a bloke thing as well. There are so many blokes, and I know mates who don't know how to deal with mental health. There's a lot of people who don't know where to turn to still in 2024, which seems crazy. I feel like the stigma is gone in terms of you being weak if you're suffering from mental health. But clearly it's still an ongoing battle. And blokes, we're not good at talking at the best of times, expressing ourselves, which potentially could save our lives.
Yeah. So firstly, I'm so sorry you went through that. That's horrific. But I just feel like men need to start talking about their feelings, for goodness sake. It's okay. It's all right. There's no judgment anymore.
There's things like Are You Okay Day, which is really, really good. But then what I seem to find is Are You Okay starts a conversation and your stock standard bloke goes, yeah, I'm fine. And then there might be a follow-up conversation, and there could be a percentage of blokes who say, I'm fine, and they're definitely not fine because they still think there's a stigma attached, and then let that manifester, and then all sorts of crazy things could happen. I just think, I can't imagine as well as a parent what you would go through if you did get that phone call.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, Newsreader Abby, it's something that you would see a lot, particularly in the newsroom with the statistics and news that comes through. But it's something that's it's not going to go anytime soon, but it really hurts.
It's not. And I feel like I've been touched by this and I've spoken about it before. A friend of mine or someone who's in our family, he mentioned on social media a little while ago that there's 4 men in his friend group or that he knows who has died by suicide this year. And this year. And I read that and I just thought, why are we still here? Why do we still see these numbers so high? The statistics are shocking, and I think just mental health in general is shocking. And we all are responsible for, reaching out. If someone goes quiet, like I'm really badly known for it, my best friend, I'll go really quiet.
That's the big one.
I'll go quite quiet. I won't be posting on social media much, that type of thing. And she'll message and she'll go, is everything okay? Because she'll see that. So we have to be better at reaching out. But also, yes, we do need to take some, I guess, personal responsibility as well. And I've had to do it plenty of times in my life where you go, hang on a sec, I'm not okay and I need to go and get some help.
Yeah.
The stigma's gone. The stigma 100% in 2024, and it was there big time 10, 15 years ago when I was coming through as a young man. It is gone now. Yeah. So if you have mental health issues, there is not one single person on this planet, if they came to me and said, I'm battling, that you would judge them and think that they're weak.
Yeah.
Instead, straight away, you'd go into this sort of save mode.
It's actually really brave to say, I'm not okay.
100%.
I think there was a time where it was like, if you can put your hand up and confess, I'm really struggling. I think now it takes an enormous amount of courage to say, I'm not doing well.
It's being responsible now.
Yeah.
Because if it was a different part of your body, like if you had a broken arm,
yeah,
you wouldn't sit there and leave it for 6 months until it fell off, would you?
No.
So,
And I
mental
think
health.
we need to as well with our young ones. It's okay if you're having a day and you go, I'm just feeling a bit blurt today. That's fine. But it's if you're there every single day for weeks to months.
If you
on
are
end,
having more bad days than good, you are not in a good space.
100%. So it's then being able to recognise, I'm just like, and we all do. Sometimes we wake up and we just have a day. But if you're there and you're living in that and you're unpacking in that space, that's, when you really do need to put your hand up and go, hang on a sec, something's not quite right here.
There are all sorts of support services available. For example, Lifeline 13 11 14 is an absolute cracking one. But continue the conversation, and in particular, blokes, just talk, reach out, and don't be scared, because that stigma, like we're talking about, is 100% gone.
Now that's a joke.
That was a joke.
That's a joke. A joke. That's a terrible joke.
I mean, we'll say it until the cows come home. Newsreader Abby is just so fearless and courageous in this space that it's not even fun anymore, which is crazy because it's the Monday morning joke off.
Yeah.
Good on you,
Must
Abs.
admit, I've really gone from 0 to 100, haven't I?
You have.
Maybe even 1,000.
Yeah. So each and every week you come in, you go, oh my God, my joke's going to get me cancelled this week. Is it going to get you cancelled?
No, mine's quite funny. The women all like this one.
Oh, okay.
The
Very
women
good.
of the team and our listeners.
Okay.
All right, let's build up to that, shall we?
All right.
I might kick things off if you don't mind.
Go on then.
What do you call someone with a really small, if you know what I mean?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Justin. Do you get that? Oh my gosh. And I've got a very, very good mate whose name is Justin as well. And that makes so much sense. Good morning to you, Justin Hardy.
Okay. All right, well, this is a very real situation. I went to a restaurant recently and I had a chat to the waitress and I asked a very innocent question. I said, can I see the menu, please? And she said, the menu, please, are none of your damn business.
That's good.
Yeah, none of your business, Jody Oddie.
None.
None of your business, said newsreader Abby.
Okay,
All
what
right.
is the what's the difference between a golf ball and a G-spot?
Oh no. What is it?
Men actually go searching for golf balls.
Oh, okay. That's pretty good. And now Joe's just like Greg, who's heavily into golf. She's like, oh yeah, now I get it.
I don't know what to say.
Thought you'd like that one.
Yeah,
Oh,
I,
that's
think
good.
I think you've done it this week. I think
Yeah.
that's it.
Very good. All right, we've been waiting for this all morning. You ready?
Yep.
Frittata chat. Yes. Here we
Let's go.
Let's go.
Bring it on.
Bring it on, Jazz. What do you got?
Okay, so 96 days till the show starts, right? And I am very, very keen to get involved in the bake-off that they have.
Yeah.
You know how they have like cakes and et cetera, et cetera.
delicious.
However, my strength, as you well know, Andrew Hayes, is frittatas.
Spot on. And it's one of your absolute sweet spots. It's your one wood, so to speak.
Yep. However, there is no frittata category at the Royal Adelaide show.
Hang on. What? Say that again, please.
There is no frittata category at the Royal Adelaide show.
Well, that is just, come on.
Disgraceful.
It's disgraceful.
So what I am going to do, and it might be controversial, I know. People mightn't care, I know. But what I want to do is rally to get a frittata category at the show.
Okay.
Are you behind me?
Hey, first question. Do I have a choice?
Nope.
No. Okay, well, then I'm right behind
No.
you, Jodes.
In the same way that you don't have a choice when I bring in my frittata and I say, eat it. And you're like, oh, do I have to?
I like it. It's delicious. Can I have some more with tears running down my face?
So if we are to get the frittata category at the show, will you go head to head?
Well, I guess I have to. Are you challenging me to a forced frittata off?
Yes.
A frittata off? I don't even know what entails a frittata.
Mate.
It's an egg-based dish, though, isn't it?
Yes, it's egg-based.
So what's the difference between a frittata and an omelette?
Well, they're completely and utterly different. Are you insane?
What do you mean?
What do you mean? What do I mean?
Is that like asking what's the difference between a kangaroo and a wallaby? They seem pretty similar.
It's all right. I'll put it in terms that you'll understand. That's like saying, what's the difference between rugby league and rugby union?
Oh, that's a very good one.
I know.
They could be cousins.
Yeah.
But they're very, very different.
They're
And
not.
don't confuse the two. And the other one gets very angry when you call them the other one.
Correct.
Right.
Your frittata is a delicious blend of vegetables and or egg.
Right. Okay. There you go. So in terms of comparing those, which one's rugby and which one's rugby league? Because we know that whichever egg-based product is the rugby league is the looser one.
Which one's a dumb one?
Hang on, isn't egg in both? Isn't egg crucial in both?
Yes.
So it's not veggies or eggs.
Can you guys stop? Can you stop comparing omelettes to frittatas?
Yeah. We're just trying to learn.
But an omelette is made with egg and a frittata is made with egg.
Okay, I'm going to stop talking if you guys can't catch up. Okay?
We're trying to learn. We're trying. You are the frittata queen. We know that.
Yes.
So educate us mere omelette plebs.
Anyway, Royal Adelaide Show, 96 days. Let's go. Let's have a frittata off.
We're doing this. It's a frittata off.
Mm-hmm.
Can I recruit Newsreader Abby? Can she be on my side?
I'm a great frittata maker, thank you very much.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
I'm a great zucchini slice gal too.
Don't make that up.
I'm not.
Okay, I get that you live at home with your parents and you're 30 and you've got nothing else to do. But that doesn't make you a great frittata maker.
That's got nothing to do with it.
All right.
Thanks very much.
I guess it's out there, Ab. So I'm recruiting Abby. It's a frittata off.
Okay, let's go.
It's a good old-fashioned frittata off. Watch this space.
I really need a chit chat. Let's have a chit chat. It is so time for a chit chat.
Let's go, girls. So this is kind of all the stuff that we talk about off air that we have taken on air. And Chit Chat this week is your dating non-negotiables. Abby in the newsroom.
Good morning.
You're the queen of the dating scene.
So I have done it. Producer Zoe, you gave me some confidence, and I have thrown myself back on the dating apps.
Good Lord.
Aggressively.
Go, girl.
Yeah.
How many, by the way?
What do you mean?
Like how many dating apps are there to be on at one time?
Hazy, that's a
Yeah,
very,
sorry. It's
very
rude
forward.
Be
question.
very selective with the words.
Let's not talk about my roster right now, please.
It's a heavy roster, isn't it?
So I am only on one at the moment because I thought let's just, quality over quantity.
Yes.
Anyway, so I jump back on and you flick through people's profiles and you just think, oh, far out. But there's things that you flick right to straight away. Like number one for me, if they're shorter than me, no thanks, not interested.
But that's not fair. You're quite tall.
I know, and that's an issue for me. Anyway, but that's that. So anyway, I had jumped back on and I was looking at this and then I flick over to Instagram and I saw this post of this lovely gentleman who also is looking for love and he has posted about some of his non-negotiables.
Oh.
To be honest, it's like the male version of me. But anyway, let's take a listen.
She has to have a car. Car is a very important requirement because I don't have any car. A house also, no rental. I don't want anybody that is renting anywhere. She has to have her own house that we can move into together. She has to have money too, because you can't have two people that don't have money.
There you go.
So essentially he's saying, I'm broke, so I need someone...
Well, by the sounds of it, he's homeless, broke, and also can't get around without a car. Well, he doesn't have a car, so he needs his missus to have that.
Car, house and money.
Yeah.
Pretty simple, isn't it?
I mean...
But it got me thinking on 13, 24, 10, do you do this? Do you have non-negotiables where you jump on at dating apps and you see something in particular, like they work, they work or they don't have a job or whatever? What are your dating non-negotiables, producer Zoe?
Oh my God, I'm obnoxious in this space when it comes to dating apps. If I meet someone in person, I'm willing to give them a little bit more. But on Hinge, as an example, you can get quite specific with yourself. I'm the same. Below 6 foot, it's a no. But also...
That's tough.
I know, it's brutal.
Tough for the short king.
Hazy, I genuinely hate myself for it. I've met that many nice men that I can't get over their height. But then another one, which might seem trivial, if they've listed their politics as not political, not interested. Goodbye.
If they're not political?
Yeah, you privileged little rat. You don't care.
What do you mean?
You're too privileged if you're not political.
Yeah, right.
Oh, that's very specific.
If they've listed their star signs, no thank you, not interested. Like, there is specifics for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Labor or Liberal?
Oh, God.
Is that where we're...
Greens.
Yeah, mine are definitely height things. You have to have a job as well.
Yeah.
What else? I'm trying to think. Oh, as well, on Hinge, they can say open to children or don't want children.
Yes.
And it's really interesting. A lot more men not wanting children these days.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
See, if they say want children in their profile, I don't swipe.
Yeah,
to
see?
them.
There you
So,
go.
Yeah.
Different in that
Some
space.
negotiables.
Yeah.
Right, there you go. Your non-negotiables. Give us a call, 13 24 10. This could be very, very interesting. Very
Do you
specific,
have any,
ladies.
Andrew Hayes?
Yeah, maybe I'll tell you mine next.
Okay.
I've got a few which might surprise you, or maybe they won't surprise you at all.
I'm scared.
They're very basic.
I really need a chit chat. Let's have a chit chat. It is so time for a chit chat.
Let's go, girl.
So, chit chat this morning, we are talking about your non-negotiables in dating, and you had a couple back in the day.
You had a few, absolutely. So, for me, must have a Scottish heritage, of course.
Yes, of course.
Yes. Needs to be sensational as a mother. I mean, that's just a non-negotiable.
Yep.
Thirdly, needs to be named Cara.
Yep.
I've always been on that. K or C, I don't mind.
Not bothered.
And lastly, needs to be human. No AI. I've said that since day dot, all right? No AI. Because that's confusing.
13 24 10, give us a call. What are your dating non-negotiables? Let's go to Nicole from Morphevale. Hey, Nicole.
Morning.
Good morning.
Lives at home with mum.
Right.
Ooh, okay. Well,
Okay.
there you go, Nicole. I guess Abby's off the menu.
I know in this day and age, like cost of living, people are doing it more and more, going back home to live with mum. But like when you're getting down and dirty and like having some, personal time, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
You don't want mum in the background in the next room.
Sure.
100%.
I get it. Yeah.
Knocking on the door. Keep it down in there.
Yeah.
So you don't go home, you go to their house.
So there you go, Nicole. We just
Spoken like a woman who lives with their parents.
That could be a genuine deal breaker. It makes sense, though.
Abby in the newsroom. Let's go to Anthea from Aberfoyle Park. Good morning.
Morning.
Your non-negotiable, doll.
They're not allowed to be into footy because I had an ex-husband who was a footy fanatic with the Crows, and everything revolved around it. You couldn't go out, you couldn't do anything. So that was my non-negotiable. And my new partner's non-negotiable was I can't be into horses because his ex-wife was a horse chick and they're crazy. So.
Right.
you
There
go.
we are.
Okay. Well,
So that is a big red line through Andrew Hayes because you're into your footy.
aggressively, Anthea. So unfortunately, you and me,
Yeah, we'll
not-
never be.
Not in this lifetime, anyway. So just how intense was he, Anthea? Like, I'm guessing if he's super intense, his mood, particularly a few games post game, would be absolutely made by whether the Crows won or lost.
Yes, yeah, and just the whole yelling at the TV, like no one's
Yeah.
it's not going to change the game.
I'm with you, Anthea. 'Cause there's nothing more unattractive than when you're at the footy and there's a man who is just losing his damn mind. Like, it's gross.
But also, my wife does the same thing when I aggressively get into sport too much when I'm watching on TV and I'm yelling at the TV, and she has to remind me that they can't hear me.
Yeah, it's true.
So stop it.
True.
It's embarrassing.
13 24 10, give us a call this morning. What are your icks? What are those things, those dating non-negotiables that you cannot stand? Give us a call.
We'll take more calls next. Reminder as well, anyone who gets on air with us goes on the standby list for 10K Day in May. And we'll put it out there for the fellas as well. Your non-negotiables.
True.
I mean, get amongst the boys.
I really need a chit chat. Let's have a chit chat. It is so time for a chit chat.
Let's go, girl.
Yes, we are talking about your icks this morning from a guy online who is very specific, actually not overly specific. He just genuinely wants someone with money.
Straight to it. He's like, you need to have a car, you need to have a house, and you need to have money.
Fair enough. 13 24 10, we're taking your calls this morning. What are your dating non-negotiables? Let's go to Kayla from Salisbury. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. What are yours, doll?
But like, it's all the typical stuff. So they have to have a job, like some steady income coming in, a car so that way they can get themselves to and from their own place. They don't necessarily have to own a house, but they have to go back to wherever they came from because they're not sharing my space. And I've got kids of my own, so they have to accept me as a package deal. The only other thing is I care very dearly about my family's opinions, and they also care very deeply about football. So if you're not a Collingwood fan, you have to skedaddle.
Wow.
That was the kicker.
So, okay, at the end of all that, if you're not a Pie supporter, see ya.
Yeah. I personally don't care, but I think they will care very deeply about it, especially during game nights when we all go to that one place to have a couple of drinks and whatnot. And yeah, my brother is he's a screamer.
Right.
So if you're up against his team, he will probably fight them.
Wow.
Okay,
Can you
thank
imagine,
you,
Kayla? Like you meet this dream boy. He just does absolutely everything. He's got his own car. He's got his house. He's got heaps of money. And he's so good with your kids. And then he just drops the whole, I'm a blues supporter.
Oh, no.
Oh, my
Oh, God.
I'm sure we'll convert them. It's fine.
Thank you so much, Kayla. Thank you. Let's go to Beck from Andrews Farm. Hey, Beck.
Hey, height. Height is a non-negotiable for me. I'm a tall woman. I am 6'2". I don't lie about being 6'2", so do not lie about 6'3", 6'4" when you're actually 6'1" or 6 foot. I can tell. You can't pretend. You can't stand up tall. Do not be shorter than 6'3".
Okay.
Well done. Well done, Beck. It sounds like, have you had some bad experiences on maybe dating platforms where someone's turned up and not quite meet what they put out there?
As soon as I walk in the door, like, you're lying, don't waste my time, I am busy, get out.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, so true, Beck. What are you, 6 what? 6 what?
Oh, I'm about 6'2".
Are you?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
So what about
Don't
same
lie to
height?
Beck.
What
Don't you very dare lie to Beck.
So what does that mean? 6'2"? Are you about 190 or about 189?
188. So
188.
Bang on 6'2", not lying, like, get out. You've at least got to be 193 or more.
It's a fair call.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you,
Good.
Beck. Let's go to Carly from Camden Park. Hey, Carly.
Hey. So my biggest is if they're on sporting bet apps like all the time, and just like spending more time on the app, putting like a $10 bet on, than talking to me and wanting to go on a date. That's just the biggest red flag ever.
So true.
Yeah, that is true. I don't know a lot of people that are just so heavily involved in sports betting.
No.
And obviously I can understand the thrill of winning.
Yeah.
But also the tight ass in me goes, well, I'm just not ready to part with that $20 note.
But also, how interesting is someone who's like heavily invested in the number 6 at Doomben, you know, on a Saturday?
It's a great point.
I mean, it's boring.
But are you serious? You're not into the dogs at Dapto? I mean, come on. You don't throw a 20 on the dish lickers every now and then?
No, mate.
Yeah, you don't find it sexy?
No.
You didn't meet Greg at the dish lickers?
No,
Is that
I
what you're
did
saying?
not. We did not meet at the Greyhounds.
That is outrageous.